The galaxy was quiet. Not empty, not dead, but controlled. Every star system, every trade route, every known world was watched by one great power, the Orin Coalition. For many centuries, no one had challenged them. No unknown enemy had appeared. No strange force had risen from the dark. Everything was known. Everything was safe. Or at least, that is what they believed. Deep inside a large command station, floating near the edge of Coalition space, a young officer stood alone. His name was Kale. He was not important. He was not famous. He was just one of many data analysts who studied signals from deep space. Most officers liked easy work. They checked common signals, trade messages, or system reports. But Kale did not. He searched for things that did not make sense. Old signals. Broken messages. Forgotten records. Things others ignored. On this day, he sat in front of a dim screen, looking at a strange file. It was old, very old. The data was damaged, almost lost. But one word appeared again and again. Earth. Kale leaned closer. He had seen that word before. Not in official records. But in stories. Old stories. Stories that most people laughed at. There was a myth in the galaxy. A strange and ancient story about a lost species called humans. No one knew where the story started. No one had real proof. But the idea had spread across many systems long ago. The story said, humans came from a distant world called Earth. Humans were weak, but also dangerous. Humans fought each other, and survived. Humans refused to give up, no matter what. Most officers joked about it. Humans, they said. Just a bedtime story. Old space nonsense. Nothing real. Kale had heard all of this before. But he never laughed. Because the more he searched, the more he found. Small things. Hidden things. Old distress signals that did not match any known language. Strange ship designs that did not belong to any species. Messages that ended suddenly, like something terrible had happened. And always, that same word. Earth. Kale saved the file and stood up. He needed to report this. Maybe someone higher would listen this time. He walked quickly through the bright halls of the station. Ships passed outside the large windows. Everything looked normal. Peaceful. But inside his mind, something felt wrong. He reached the command room. Several senior officers were there, speaking calmly. They were not worried. Why would they be? Kale stepped forward. Commander, he said, trying to stay calm. I found something again. Old signals. The same pattern. The same word. The commander looked at him, clearly tired. Kale, he said, is this about your humans again? Some officers nearby laughed quietly. Kale did not smile. Yes, sir. The data is increasing. It is not random. Something is repeating. The commander shook his head. There are no humans. We have explored most of the galaxy. If they existed, we would know. But what if we missed them? Kale said. The room went quiet for a moment. Then one officer spoke. Missed them? A whole species? That is not possible. Kale felt frustration rising inside him. These signals are real. They are not myths. The commander sighed. Enough. Focus on real threats. Not stories. Kale lowered his head. Yes, sir. He turned and walked away. No one followed him. No one believed him. Hours passed. Kale returned to his station. He sat down again, staring at the screen. He opened more files. More broken signals. More strange data. Then something changed. A new signal appeared. At first, it looked like noise. But then the system reacted. The signal became clearer. Stronger. Different. Kale's heart began to beat faster. This was not old data. This was live. Impossible, he whispered. He quickly adjusted the system. The signal locked into place. It was clean. Clear. Powerful. Not broken. Not weak. Alive. Kale stood up so fast that his chair fell behind him. Control, he called out loudly. I need command access now. No one answered. The system continued to process the signal. Then, another alert appeared. Unknown fleet detected. Kale froze. Fleet. That meant ships. A lot of ships. He pulled up the scan. At first, he thought the system was wrong. The numbers were too high. Too large. Too impossible. His voice shook. This can't be right. He zoomed in. Dots appeared on the screen. Hundreds. Then thousands. Then more. They were moving together. In formation. Silent. No identification. No known design. Kale felt cold. Very cold. He ran out of the room. This time, he did not wait. He rushed back to the command center and burst inside. Commander, he shouted. Everyone turned. What is it now? The commander said, annoyed. Kale walked forward, breathing hard. It's real. The room went silent. What is real? The commander asked. Kale looked at all of them. At every officer who had laughed. At every person who had ignored him. Then he spoke slowly. The signals, the patterns, the unknown data. He pointed toward the main screen. They are not old anymore. The commander frowned. Explain. Kale took a deep breath. Then said the words that changed everything. There is a fleet. How big? Someone asked. Kale hesitated. Then answered. Bigger than anything we have ever seen. The room became still. No one laughed this time. The commander stepped forward. Show me. Kale activated the display. The screen filled with data. Coordinates. Movement lines. And then. The image. Dark shapes. Massive. Countless. The commander's face changed. This is not possible. Kale whispered. They are real. No one spoke. No one moved. Then the system played a short signal. A message. Clear. Cold. Unknown. No language match. Just one translated meaning. Restricted space. Turn back. Kale stared at the screen. His voice was almost silent. They thought humans were myths. He looked at the fleet again. But something is out there. The commander slowly stepped back. For the first time in many years. The Orin Coalition felt something they had forgotten. Fear. And far beyond their borders. The unknown fleet kept moving. Closer. The Orin Coalition did not sleep that cycle. Across many star systems, alarms were active. Command stations were full. Officers moved quickly, speaking in low, serious voices. No one laughed now. No one used the word myth. The unknown fleet was real. And it was moving. In the main command station, Kale stood behind the senior officers. He was not part of the leadership, but no one asked him to leave. Not anymore. The large screen showed the same image again and again. Dark shapes. Countless ships. All moving in perfect formation. No signals. No names. No answers. The commander spoke at last. We need to confirm what we are seeing. Another officer nodded. We will send a scout fleet. Small. Fast. Careful. Kale stepped forward. Sir, we should be cautious. The commander looked at him. We are always cautious. Kale shook his head. No, sir. This is different. They warned us. The message said, restricted space. One officer spoke with a calm voice. That could mean anything. Many species protect their space. Kale replied quietly. But no species has a fleet like this. The room went silent again. The commander made his decision. The scout fleet will go. We need answers. Orders were sent immediately. Within minutes, a group of coalition ships left the station. They were fast, well armed, and equipped with the best scanners. From the command room, everyone watched. Kale did not look away from the screen. The scout fleet moved through space quickly. Stars passed by them like light. Soon, they reached the edge of the unknown zone. Scout fleet, report, the commander said. A voice answered. This is Scout Leader Varen. We have reached the border. No contact yet. Proceed slowly, the commander ordered. Yes, sir. The ships moved forward. Slowly. Carefully. The sensors began to react. At first, there was nothing. Then. Contact, Varen said. The screen changed. The unknown fleet appeared again. But this time, it was closer. Much closer. Even through the display, the size of the ships was clear. They were massive. Far larger than coalition ships. Their shapes were different. Hard. Sharp. Heavy. They looked like machines built for war. Kale felt his chest tighten. They're not hiding, he whispered. They want to be seen. The commander did not reply. Scout fleet, hold position, he said. The ship stopped. Silence filled the space between the two fleets. No movement. No signals. No sound. Then the commander gave the next order. Send standard contact message. A signal was transmitted. Unknown fleet, this is the Orin Coalition. Identify yourselves. Everyone waited. Seconds passed. Then minutes. No answer. They are ignoring us, one officer said. The commander frowned. Send it again. The message was sent a second time. Still no reply. Kale watched closely. They are not confused, he said softly. They understand. They just don't care. Before anyone could respond, something changed. One ship from the unknown fleet moved. Just one. But it was enough. The massive ship slowly came forward. It separated from the formation. Heading directly toward the scout fleet. Commander, Varen said, his voice tense. One of their ships is approaching. Hold your position, the commander replied. The human ship moved closer. And closer. Its size became clear. It was larger than all the scout ships combined. Dark metal covered its body. No lights. No markings. Just cold, silent power. Kale felt something deep inside him. Fear. This is not a greeting, he said. The human ship stopped. Right in front of the scout fleet. Close enough to destroy them all. Still, no signal. Then suddenly. Commander. Varen shouted. We are being targeted. Red warnings filled the screen. Locks. Weapons. Systems detected. They are locking onto us, another pilot cried. Defensive positions. Varen ordered. Coalition ships powered their shields. Weapons charged. The commander spoke fast. Do not fire. I repeat, do not fire. He wanted peace. He wanted control. But it was too late. The human ship did not wait. No warning. No countdown. Just. Collision, a single flash of light. The screen went white for a moment. Then. Half of the scout fleet was gone. Destroyed. Gone in 1 second. Kale stepped back in shock. No. Screams filled the communication channel. Shields down. We lost engines. Help us. Retreat. Retreat. The commander shouted. All ships fall back. Now. The remaining ships turned. They tried to escape. But the human ship moved again. Fast. Too fast. Another blast. Collision, 2 more ships disappeared. Only a few were left now. Broken. Damaged. Running. Jump. Jump now. Varen yelled. The surviving ships activated their jump drives. One by one, they vanished. Silence returned. The screen showed nothing. The human fleet did not follow. They did not chase. They simply stayed where they were. Watching. Waiting. Back in the command room, no one spoke. The commander's face was pale. Kale stared at the empty screen. His hands were shaking. They didn't even try to talk, someone whispered. They did, Kale said quietly. Everyone looked at him. Kale spoke slowly. Their message was clear. He pointed at the last recorded signal. Restricted space. Turn back. No one argued. No one laughed. They understood now. This was not a mistake. This was not confusion. This was a warning. And they had ignored it. The commander took a deep breath. How many ships did we lose? An officer checked the data. Over half, sir. The room felt heavy. Cold. Real. Kale closed his eyes for a moment. They are not myths, he said. Then he opened them again. They are ready for war. Far away, beyond coalition space. The human fleet remained still. Silent. Unmoving. But now, the galaxy knew one thing for sure. They were real. And they were not friendly. The news did not stay hidden. It moved fast. From one system to another, from one station to the next, the story spread like fire in dry space. The scout fleet had been destroyed. Not by a large battle. Not after long fighting. But in seconds. One ship. One attack. Half the fleet gone. The Orin Coalition had not faced defeat like this in many centuries. Most citizens had never even heard of such a thing. To them, the coalition was strong, perfect, and untouchable. But now, cracks had appeared. In cities across many planets, people gathered in front of large screens. They watched reports again and again. The same images played over and over. Dark ships. Unknown design. Massive size. And the final message. Restricted space. Turn back. Fear began to grow. At first, it was quiet. People whispered in homes. Workers spoke softly in stations. Pilots checked their ships again and again. Then the questions started. Who are they? Where did they come from? Why did they attack so fast? And slowly, one word returned. Humans. The same word that had once been a joke. Now it was spoken with fear. They are the humans, some said. The old stories were true. No, it can't be, others replied. But nothing else makes sense. Back in the main command station, the situation was worse. The room was full again, but this time it felt different. Heavy. Serious. No one smiled. No one relaxed. Every officer watched the screens carefully, waiting for new updates. Kale stood near the back, silent. He had been right. But he did not feel proud. He felt worried. Very worried. The commander entered the room. His face was hard. Tired. Different from before. All stations report, he said. One officer spoke first. No movement from the unknown fleet. They are holding position. Another added. No new signals. No communication attempts. A third officer said. Civilian systems are asking for answers. Panic is rising. The commander nodded slowly. We will respond soon. But he did not look confident. A large meeting was called. Leaders from many systems joined through holographic projection. Their images appeared around the room, tall figures, different shapes, different species. All powerful. All important. All worried. The main leader spoke first. This situation is serious. We have lost ships. We have lost control of the outer border. Another leader spoke quickly. We must attack before they move further. No, a different voice said. We need to understand them first. They destroyed our ships without warning, someone shouted. There is nothing to understand. They warned us, Kale said quietly. The room paused. Some leaders turned toward him. Who is this? One asked. The commander answered. This is Officer Kale. He has been studying the unknown signals. Then let him speak, the main leader said. Kale stepped forward. His heart was beating fast, but his voice stayed calm. They sent a clear message before the attack, he said. They told us to turn back. A leader replied. That does not excuse what they did. Kale nodded. No. But it explains something important. What? Another leader asked. Kale took a breath. They do not want contact. The room went quiet. They do not want trade. They do not want peace talks. They only want one thing. He looked at the screen showing the unknown fleet. For us to stay away. One leader shook his head. That is not possible. This is our space. Kale answered softly. Maybe, not anymore. Murmurs spread across the room. Another leader spoke with anger. We are the Orin Coalition. We control this galaxy. Kale did not argue. Instead, he activated a data screen. Old records appeared. Broken signals. Strange ship images. Unknown battles. These are from different parts of space, Kale said. Different times. Different systems. What are we looking at? Someone asked. Signs, Kale replied. Signs that they have been here before. The leaders looked closer. These ships, they match the ones we saw. Yes, Kale said. A leader leaned forward. You are saying, they were hiding? Kale nodded. Yes. Why would a powerful species hide? Another asked. Kale answered. Because they chose to. The room became silent again. Kale continued. The old stories say humans fought many wars. They faced disaster again and again. But they survived. He looked at the leaders one by one. If they are real, then they are not weak. The main leader spoke slowly. Then why show themselves now? Kale did not answer right away. He thought about the message. Restricted space. Turn back. Then he said. Because we crossed a line. The leaders exchanged looks. Some were unsure. Some were angry. Some were afraid. But one thing was clear. They did not like this situation. We cannot allow another power to exist like this, one leader said firmly. Yes, another agreed. If we do nothing, we look weak. They have already made us look weak, someone added. The commander remained silent for a moment. Then he spoke. What do you suggest? The answer came quickly. We send a full fleet. Not a scout. Not a test. A real force. A show of power. Kale felt his chest tighten. No, he said. The room turned to him again. This is a mistake. A leader replied sharply. And doing nothing is better. Kale shook his head. We should not fight them. Not yet. Why? The leader asked. Kale looked at the screen again. At the silent fleet. At what they did in seconds. Because we don't understand them, he said. And if we fight something we don't understand. He paused. We may lose everything. Silence filled the room. For a moment, it seemed like they might listen. But then. No, the main leader said. His voice was strong. Clear. Final. We will not show fear. We will not step back. We will remind them who controls this galaxy. Orders were given. Plans were made. A massive fleet was prepared. The largest in coalition history. Millions of ships. Weapons ready. Engines active. War was coming. Kale stood still as everyone moved around him. No one listened. No one changed their mind. He looked once more at the unknown fleet. Still silent. Still waiting. They tried to warn us, he whispered. Far beyond the coalition space. The human ships did not move. They did not speak. They simply waited. As if they already knew. What was about to happen? The Orin Coalition had made its choice. War. Across the galaxy, shipyards worked without rest. Massive fleets gathered from every system. Battleships, cruisers, carriers, more ships than anyone had ever seen together. For many officers, this brought comfort. They believed in numbers. They believed in power. They believed no enemy could stand against them. This will end quickly, one officer said. Yes, another replied. No one can fight the coalition. But not everyone felt that way. Kale stood inside a command ship, watching the fleet prepare. He had been assigned to the operation, not as a leader, but as an observer. They wanted his knowledge. But not his opinion. He looked out of the wide window. Ships filled the darkness. Thousands, then millions. Lights from engines burned bright. Weapons systems charged. The fleet looked unstoppable. And yet. Kale felt uneasy. Very uneasy. They think this is enough, he whispered. The commander of the ship walked beside him. It is enough, the commander said. We will show them strength. Kale did not argue. He simply asked. What if they are stronger? The commander paused. Then replied. Then we will still fight. The fleet began to move. One by one, ships entered jump space. Soon, the entire armada disappeared into the void. Their destination. The unknown region. The place where the silent fleet waited. Time passed. Then. They arrived. The view outside changed. Dark space. Quiet stars. And there. The human fleet. Still in formation. Still silent. Still waiting. They didn't run, one officer said. They didn't hide, another added. The commander smiled slightly. Good. That makes this easier. Kale felt something twist inside him. They are not afraid, he said. The commander ignored him. All units, prepare for engagement, he ordered. Across the fleet, weapons activated. Shields powered up. Targeting systems locked. Millions of coalition ships pointed toward the human fleet. The human ships did not move. No signals. No warnings this time. Just silence. Heavy silence. Then. Fire. The order spread instantly. Collision. A storm of energy filled space. Lasers. Missiles. Plasma bursts. A wave of destruction rushed toward the human fleet. The first hits landed. Explosions lit the darkness. Smoke and fire spread across the battlefield. For a moment. It looked like victory. They are taking damage, someone shouted. Yes, another said. Keep firing. More attacks followed. More explosions. The coalition fleet pushed forward. Confident. Powerful. Winning. Then. Something changed. Kale noticed it first. Their formation, he said. The human ships were moving. Slowly at first. Then faster. Much faster. They are repositioning, an officer said. No, Kale replied. They are preparing. Suddenly. The human fleet split. Groups of ships broke apart and moved in perfect patterns. Clean. Precise. Like they had practiced this many times. Track their movement, the commander shouted. But it was already too late. The first counterattack came. Collision. A line of human ships fired together. Not random. Not wild. Perfect. One section of the coalition fleet disappeared. Gone in seconds. What was that? Someone cried. Impossible, another shouted. Then more attacks came. From different directions. Human ships moved between coalition lines. Fast. Sharp. Deadly. They're inside our formation, an officer yelled. They're too fast. Kale watched in shock. They're not fighting like us, he whispered. Coalition ships tried to respond. They fired back. They adjusted positions. They gave orders. But everything felt slow. Too slow. Human ships did not wait. They changed direction instantly. They avoided attacks with ease. They struck weak points. Again. And again. And again. They're targeting our command ships, someone warned. Protect the carriers, another shouted. But it did not help. Collision. Another explosion. Collision. Another loss. Collision, another fleet section destroyed. Chaos spread. Hold formation, the commander yelled. But no one could hold. Ships crashed into each other. Signals overlapped. Orders were lost. Fear grew. "They're everywhere," a pilot screamed. "No, they're not," Cale said softly. Everyone looked at him. "They're exactly where they want to be." The commander clenched his fists. This is not possible. But it was. The battle continued. And the truth became clear. Numbers did not matter. Size did not matter. The coalition was losing. Badly. Human ships moved like hunters. They did not waste time. They did not waste energy. Every attack had a purpose. Every move had a goal. "They've done this before," Cale said. "They know war." More coalition ships fell. More explosions filled space. The once powerful armada was breaking apart. "Retreat," someone finally shouted. The commander hesitated. He did not want to say it. But he had no choice. "All units, fall back." The order spread. Ships turned. They tried to escape. But even retreat was difficult. Human ships followed. Not all. Just enough. Enough to cause damage. Enough to remind them. You cannot win. Cale watched as ship after ship disappeared. Destroyed. Lost. Gone. His voice was quiet. "We never had a chance." The commander said nothing. His face showed the truth. This was not a battle. This was a lesson. After some time, the remaining coalition ships managed to jump away. They escaped. But they were broken. Behind them, the human fleet stopped. They did not chase further. They returned to formation. Calm. Silent. Untouched. As if nothing had happened. Back in the damaged command ship, the room was quiet. No one spoke. No one moved. The Great Armada. Defeated. Cale looked out into space one last time. "They tried to warn us," he said. This time. No one disagreed. Far in the distance, the human fleet remained still. Watching. Waiting. Ready. Because for them, this war had never been a challenge. It had only just begun. The battle was over. But the silence after it felt even worse. Broken ships drifted in space. Fire still burned on damaged hulls. Pieces of metal floated slowly, like ghosts of what once was the strongest fleet in the galaxy. The Orin Coalition had lost. Not a small loss. A complete defeat. The few ships that survived had escaped far away. They were damaged, shaken, and quiet. No one celebrated. No one spoke of victory. Because there was none. Cale sat inside one of the remaining command ships. The lights were low. Systems were weak. Many screens were dark. Around him, officers moved slowly. Their faces were pale. Their voices were soft. Fear had replaced pride. Cale closed his eyes for a moment. "They were right," he whispered. But before he could think more, an alarm sounded. "Contact," an officer shouted. Everyone turned. "What now?" the commander asked. The officer looked confused. "They are not attacking." Cale stood up quickly. "Show me." The main screen activated. A human ship appeared. Just one. It was the same kind they had seen before. Dark. Massive. Silent. But this time, it was not firing. It was simply, there. Waiting. Why would they come here? The commander asked. No one answered. Then a new message appeared. Incoming transmission. The room froze. They are contacting us, someone said. The commander looked at Kale. What do we do? Kale took a deep breath. We answer. The commander nodded. Open channel. The signal connected. For a moment, there was only silence. Then, a figure appeared on the screen. It was different from any species they had seen. 2 eyes. A simple face. No armor. No fear. A human. Kale stared in shock. So, they are real, he said softly. The human looked calm. Still. In control. When it spoke, the voice was clear. You entered restricted space. The commander stepped forward. We did not understand. The human interrupted. You were warned. The room went silent again. The human continued. You sent weapons instead of words. The commander tried again. We came to protect our territory. The human's expression did not change. This is not your territory. Kale watched closely. The human was not angry. Not shouting. Not emotional. Just, certain. Kale stepped forward. Why didn't you contact us earlier? He asked. The human turned its eyes toward him. For a long time, it said, we chose not to be seen. Kale felt his chest tighten. Why? The answer came without delay. Because your galaxy is not peaceful. The room went still. The human continued. You fight. You expand. You destroy weaker systems. Because it was true. We observed, the human said. We stayed hidden. Kale asked quietly. You were watching us? Yes. The word was simple. But heavy. How long? Kale asked. The human paused. Then answered. Long enough to understand you. Kale felt cold. You knew everything, and still stayed away? Yes. Why come now? The commander asked. The human looked at him. Because you crossed the line. The same words Kale had said before. Now confirmed. Kale took a step closer. What line? The human activated a display. A map appeared. It showed space. Stars. Borders. And one clear mark. The point where coalition ships had entered. This is our boundary, the human said. You were not invited. The commander spoke carefully. We did not know this was your space. The human replied. That is not our fault. Silence again. Then Kale asked the question no one else wanted to ask. Are you going to destroy us? The room froze. Everyone waited. The human looked at him. For the first time, there was a small change in its face. Not anger. Not kindness. Something else. Control. If we wanted to destroy you, the human said, you would not be here. Kale understood. They had held back. Even in battle. Even after attack. The human continued. We are not here to conquer. The commander frowned. Then what do you want? The answer came clearly. Order. The word echoed in the room. Kale felt its meaning. Not chaos. Not fear. Control. You attacked us, the commander said. You entered our space with weapons, the human replied. You fired first, the commander argued. You ignored our warning, the human answered. The commander had no reply. Kale stepped forward again. You are stronger than us, he said. Yes. No hesitation. No doubt. Kale nodded slowly. Then why give us a chance? The human looked at him carefully. Because you can learn. Kale was surprised. Learn what? The human answered. To stay in your place. The room felt heavy again. The human took a small step closer to the screen. We do not want war, it said. But we do not fear it. Kale believed that. Every word. Every calm tone. Every action. These are your choices, the human said. A new display appeared. 2 paths. Leave our space. Respect our boundary. Live. Return with force. Face destruction. The message was simple. Clear. Final. The commander looked at the options. His hands were shaking. Kale spoke quietly. We cannot win. The commander closed his eyes. He knew it too. When he opened them again, he looked at the human. We will withdraw, he said. The human nodded once. Good. Then the signal ended. Just like that. No threats. No final words. Just silence. Kale stood still. They were never myths, he said. The commander did not respond. He was thinking. Everyone was. Far beyond their damaged ships. The human fleet waited again. Silent. Watching. But now, the truth was clear. Humans were not just a lost species. They were not just survivors. They were something more. They were patient. They were powerful. And they had been watching the galaxy. For a very long time. The war ended, but the change had just begun. The Orin Coalition fleet returned home. What was left of it? Ships were broken. Systems were weak. Many never made it back. Across the galaxy, people watched in silence as the once great armada arrived in pieces. No victory music. No proud speeches. Only truth. They had lost. For the first time in many centuries, the coalition was no longer the strongest power. Fear spread again, but this time, it was deeper. Not loud. Not wild. Quiet fear. The kind that stays in the mind. In the main command station, the leaders gathered once more. The same room. The same faces. But everything felt different. Before, they spoke with pride. Now, they spoke with care. We cannot fight them again, one leader said. They destroyed our fleet too easily, another added. A third spoke in a low voice. If they attack us, we cannot stop them. No one argued. No one denied it. The truth was clear. The humans were stronger. Far stronger. The commander stood at the center of the room. His voice was calm, but heavy. We have received their terms. A screen lit up. 2 simple choices appeared again. Respect their boundary. Live. Return with force. Face destruction. The room stayed silent. Kale stood at the back, watching. He remembered the human's voice. Calm. Certain. Not asking. Not begging. Just stating what would happen. They are not trying to rule us, Kale said quietly. Some leaders turned toward him. Then what are they doing? One asked. Kale answered. They are setting limits. A leader frowned. For us? Yes, Kale said. And for themselves. The room thought about this. They could destroy us, another leader said. But they didn't. Why? Someone asked. Kale looked at the screen. At control, he said. They don't want chaos. They want order. The main leader spoke again. We must decide now. One by one, the leaders shared their thoughts. We accept their terms. We stay away from their space. We rebuild. No one spoke of war now. No one suggested another attack. The choice was clear. We choose peace, the main leader said. The decision spread across the coalition. Orders were sent to all systems. All fleets were pulled back. Borders were redrawn. And for the first time, the Orin Coalition stepped back. Not from weakness alone, but from understanding. Days passed. Then weeks. Then months. No human ships moved beyond their space. No new attacks came. No new messages were sent. They simply stayed. Watching. Waiting. Holding their line. Slowly, the galaxy began to change. Smaller systems, once controlled by the coalition, gained freedom. Trade routes opened in new ways. Old conflicts stopped. Not because of peace talks, but because everyone knew one thing. There was something stronger out there. And it was watching. Kale became known across the systems. Not as a hero, but as the one who understood first. He was invited to speak in many places. To explain what had happened. To explain what humans were. In one large gathering, a young student asked him, "Are humans our enemies?" Kale paused. He thought about the battle. The destruction. The calm human voice. Then he answered. No. The student looked confused. But they destroyed our fleet. Kale nodded. Yes. Then why are they not enemies? Kale spoke slowly. Because they gave us a choice. The room listened. They could have ended everything, he said. But they didn't. Why? The student asked. Kale gave a small answer. Because they are not like us. Time moved forward. The galaxy adapted. New rules formed. New respect grew. The name human was no longer a myth. It was a warning. And a truth. Far beyond coalition space. The human fleet still waited. Silent. Unmoving. Unchanged. On one of their ships, the same human commander stood, looking out into space. Another human officer spoke. The coalition has stepped back. The commander nodded. As expected. They are rebuilding, the officer added. Yes. Should we be concerned? The commander looked at the stars. No. Why not? The commander answered calmly. Because now, they understand. Back in coalition space, Kale stood alone, looking at the sky. He thought about everything that had happened. The myths. The signals. The war. The truth. He spoke softly, as if telling a story. They thought humans were not real. He paused. They thought the galaxy belonged to them. He looked at the stars again. But they were wrong. A quiet moment passed. Then he finished. Humans did not arrive to take control. They arrived to remind us that we were never alone. The stars above remained still. But everything had changed. The galaxy had not discovered humans. Humans had simply decided. It was time to be seen. And this time, No one would ever call them myths again.